Hello and welcome to morning Manchester United news. And where else to start other than we are the champions, my friend. Yes, of course, I'm talking about us, the under 18s, winning what is probably the highlight of Manchester United's season so far. And it's not come by via the first team. A 3-1 win in the Youth Cup final. Over 65,000 people attending at Old Trafford to watch the boys lift the trophy in a rather controversial fashion. 2 goals on the night for Garnacho. It was a very close game. Going in at half time, 1-0. Notts Forest was causing us a lot of trouble from set pieces. They deserved to go in the break at 1-0. But in the second half, some of the United players, they really showed their quality. Garnacho was one of them. And yeah, he managed to win the penalty. It was definitely outside the box. However, I would say is the reason why the guy didn't get sent off was because it was inside of the box. And you can't get sent off if there's a genuine attempt for the ball because of double jeopardy rule. So, had that been outside the box, he would have got sent off. So it wouldn't have been a penalty, but it would have got sent off. So, yeah, swings and roundabouts. We probably would have gone on to win the game anyway. But Garnacho secured it anyway. So it was 3-1 on the night, getting his second goal, which was a deflection. But yeah, Garnacho really came alive in that second half after a very quiet first half, and got the job done. And it kind of leads me on to something I wanted to talk about, in which there was a lot of the first team watching on the night, which is great to see. I saw Bruno Fernandes there. I saw Harry Maguire there. I saw Phil Jones there, which is great to see. But I think the first team should be apologising to that youth team for the simple fact that they should be getting a lot more minutes right now. Because this season, okay, if they'd have won against Brighton, for example, or just won one more game, then we would be going into this final game at Palace already secured Europa League. Okay, wouldn't be great, but it would be a nothing game. Literally, our position in the table wouldn't have been able to change. In which case, you could have played some of the youth, like Garnacho, like Charlie McNeil, like Zidane Iqbal. You could have played some of this, like Fernandes, Alvaro Fernandes. So it's because of that, and it's because, okay, we're hoping that City beat West Ham for numerous reasons. We don't want Liverpool to win the title, of course. 20 times Man United. But also, if West Ham do get a win there, they'll be level on points with us with a better goal difference. So we're hoping City do us a favour and beat West Ham. But if we lose against Crystal Palace and let's say the most likely situation happens where West Ham get beaten, going into that last game, we still need at least a point against Crystal Palace. So, which means that we are restricted in the youth that we can play. We can put them on the bench, and if we've got a nice little goal margin, which with this United team you doubt, especially away from home, 5 on the bounce now. That would be 5 on the bounce that we've lost away from home. This would be going to Palace in their last home game of the season. Could possibly make it 6 losses on the bounce. Terrible. But yeah, we could have gone into that game with the option to play the youth because the game meant nothing. We couldn't move our position in the table. That's not the case, thanks to the first team and their effort levels, really. Moving on into our next story, and it's something that's like, it is believable, but Jesus Christ. I mean, it's Jesse Lingard and Newcastle ending their pursuit for Jesse Lingard due to excess wage demand. He wants in excess of £150,000 per week plus a huge signing on bonus. What does my guy think he's done to deserve that? In his Manchester United career, he's probably had 3 or 4 months in which he was Messi Lingard. He had a great loan spell at West Ham. But what does he think? What he does not deserve £150,000 a week plus a large signing on fee. Does not deserve that at all. In fact, only 2 of their players are in the 100,000s, and that is Grameresh and Trippier. Both low risk signings. Lingard, if he comes in, that's not a low risk signing. You've seen all the amount of time he spent at United not performing. He's not going to come in and necessarily hit the ground running. It is a high risk signing, so you don't want him have a player that is the United problem with high wages that you can't get off the books, that is just not performing. And that is always the risk that you're going to have with Jesse. And if Newcastle aren't going to pay that money for him, who is? He really needs to reevaluate the wages that he wants and the signing on bonus that he wants. Because if Newcastle are going to pay him the most out of any club, West Ham, are they going to offer him £150,000 a week? I don't think so. It's literally, unless he tries to go abroad, but the Premier League is where the money is. I can't see it happening. I think he's going to have to look around the 80,000 mark. You know, you can half it probably. £80,000, £100,000 upper limit, I would say. So yeah, it's baffling really how much money Jesse wants. Moving on to the next story, and that is I'm going to mention it. It is, but I don't know the implications of it. And this is that Manchester United have fired, or another person has left. Richard Arnold apparently has sent an email around informing staff that the Chief Strategy Officer, Heman Taiseo. Yep, nobody's knew his name before. I still don't know how to pronounce his name now. He is the Chief Strategy Officer, though. He has left, and he obviously joins the latest resignations or sackings in Jim Lawler and Marcel Bout, which were high up in the scouting network, and Matt Judge, who was the chief negotiator. So there is an overhaul at Manchester United, which is a positive thing. But I think with Jim Lawler, Marcel Bout and Matt Judge, you could have a look at their jobs, or have a look at United's previous transfer business and think, okay, those have done bad jobs. They deserve to be sacked. Chief Strategy Officer, I have no idea what job he does. So I couldn't tell you if he was doing a good job or bad, to be honest. So I don't know what job he does. I didn't know him before. I still don't know how to pronounce his name now. So that's all I can say on that one. I'm not going to be like, yes, we've got rid of another one, because I have no idea of the job he was doing, to be honest. And the final story of today is West Ham have a laughable offer for West Ham for Declan Rice, that contract renewal that he's never gonna nobody in the right mind would take. Now this has come from TalkSport, so you know what we call TalkSport. Everyone calls TalkSport, talk shite. So whether this is true or not, I'm going to go with no. But they have offered him £200,000 a week, which is a very respectable figure, on an 8-year deal. 8 years. Who in their... And not only 8 years, if he wanted to, he could do 10 years. Who in the right... Why would you want £200,000 a week secured for 10 years? Bloody Phil Jones, or the equivalent of Phil Jones in 10 years' time, might be on 200,000 the way bloody inflation's going. So why would you want to lock in £200,000 a week for 10 years? You just wouldn't do that. £200,000 a week might be bang average wages in 10 years' time. So you wouldn't want to lock in that. Plus, David Moyes has said that is a bid to lure for West Ham to accept and to lure Declan Rice away. He would want a bid of in excess of £150 million, which is just incredible. But I can see him. He is in 2018. He signed a 5-year deal, which means he's still going to be under contract for 2 more full seasons. So 23-24 season is when his contract is up. So they've got time to convince him to sign a contract. I mean, I don't think it's going to be an 8-year deal. I think if I was Declan Rice, I'd say, put that on 3 or 5 years. I don't want an 8-year deal, especially not with that wage. Apparently, his representatives thinks he can already get at another club £250,000-300,000 a week, which may be so. But if Declan Rice was to get what he wants at a new club, which is £250,000-300,000 a week, David Moyes is not going to get what he wants in terms of excess of 150 million. What club in their right mind would pay 150 million plus 250 grand a week for Declan Rice? I mean, he's not bloody Mbappe. He is a great midfielder, a top quality Premier League midfielder. But he's not world class right now. It's potential to be, I would say. But he's not world class right now. He's not one of the best 3, 4, 5 in his position in the world, I wouldn't say. So that is it. That is all the transfer news this morning for you. Please do, if this is the first time watching, please do like and subscribe. You can see the subscriber count down below. You can see it's looking pretty dismal right now. I am new to YouTube doing these daily shows, so please do hit that like and subscribe. I'm going to be doing this every morning, so you know where to find me. Going to be early morning. It's going to be a 6:30 scheduled video that's going to be released, and I'll either live stream it or I'll record the video at night and then release it in the morning. You can follow my Twitch for live watch-alongs. I am going to do a live watch-along today on this day for Spurs versus Arsenal. Massive implications in terms of the top 4 race there. So do follow my Twitch. The link is down below in the description for which. So apart from that, I will see you guys tomorrow. Ciao.